welcome. Hi, everyone. I'm Abigail.
And I'm Amanda.
And this is another episode of Breath of Life Conversations. And as you can see, we are a duo today because our happy trio has broken up.
Well, not broken up. She's on it's her daughter's birthday, so she just needed the day.
She decided to go and be with her adult daughter on the day of her birth. When she pushed her out of her vagina and decided to celebrate that. I don't understand that. No, I'm kidding. I do. I'm just kidding. All jokes. But no, that's where Jessie is. So she's not with us today. So hi, Jessie. So today we thought we would start with our energetic check-in, as we always do, our emotional check-in. And then we've got some questions.
They're not just questions. They're things that she does in her readings quite often. They're like questions that people a lot of people that do a session with her end up asking similar things. So I was just trying to come up with questions that if it's a common theme in her sessions, then it's probably common question for most people.
That is true. They are very common questions. There are things that people for sure ask a lot about.
Okay.
Or that it comes up. My emotional check-in. I'm actually doing really, really good today. I am wearing a really nice outfit today.
Her pants are cute.
You guys can't see the pants, but they are fantastic. They're straight from the 90s.
I was gonna say I used to have some for sure back in the day.
So cute. I really want you to buy a pair. So
I probably will, but I'll probably get black ones.
They only came in this color.
Oh, okay, then I get them and then wear a black shirt.
And of course it's at the most 90s store ever, JCPenney. Swear I don't
know how it's still in business, to be honest. I feel like they've got 4 things in their store.
It's nuts. And everything else is super matronly. I feel like I hit gold going and finding these pants in the petite section, which was something else that I was oh, what?
We should go there this week and go buy some for me. Let's do it.
But I just noticed as I was sitting in my bed, I had to deliver my mom and her partner to the airport so that they could go to Reno. So I am on toddler duty, but because James is off on Sundays, he's watching the kiddo, and I was sitting in my room feeling like I was going to take a nap. I did not take a nap, but I was just scrolling on Instagram and just finding good video after good video after good video, and it just
I did that last night, literally for 3 hours. I was oh my god, I doom scrolled for 3 fucking hours. What is wrong with me?
Oh, but see, I feel I did the opposite. I didn't doom scroll. It was just empowering video or funny video.
Oh, no, mine were funny. I was sending them to everybody. It's my love language to send out memes.
I loved it so much. I was I am really happy right now. I'm just so happy with life right now, and I'm happy with myself. And that was not surprising, but I think shocking just a little bit. I feel this is truly I recognize nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I've been feeling that way for a couple days. I don't know, it's probably all the the planetary things they say that it affects things, and now there's no more Mercury retrograde, the Jupiter things happen, the full moon's over. I just feel things are taking a good turn.
They are. So yeah, my emotional check-in is good.
Mine, I'm fine. I'm good. I've had a good weekend. I have my weekend off. I didn't have to work.
Which is unusual. Usually you only have Sundays off.
Yeah. But I am off this weekend. I went to a play in New Hope. There was an outdoor community theater program. So it was the Addams Family. It was really good, really funny. It was very professional. They did a really good job, and it was the perfect night. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too humid. There was no bugs. It wasn't raining. It was perfect. It was so nice.
Wish we had more of those days.
I know. It was good. See, then today, I mean, again, woke up good. We woke up. The kids were all still sleeping, and Maya had a sleepover, so she had a couple girls over, and me and Michael snuck out and went to Bean Co. in Maple Grove.
Nice.
It's so good. We got coffee and breakfast sandwiches, and then just sat out back in the tree trio. We sat on the ground together, and it was cute. I sat and he sat behind me, and we just ate our little sandwiches. It was kind of romantic, for a Sunday morning.
That's so cute.
And then I got a ton of crap from my garden, so I picked all the junk from the garden.
And then shot her girlfriends a picture. And
I do.
I was
I send
like,
them pictures of
mine,
shit from my garden. I know nobody cares, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
I love seeing this stuff. I'm like, abundance.
And the cucumbers, aren't they weird looking?
They are huge.
They're heirloom cucumbers, so they're not even like all the way green. They're like
They're,
almost yellowy and weird.
yes.
So I was like,
Do they
something's weird.
taste the same?
I haven't cut one yet, but I'm gonna cut one tonight because I'm making dinner, and I'm
Yes.
gonna cut them up in like tomatoes and cucumbers, whatever salad.
Nice.
So I will let you know if
Okay.
they're weird or
Because heirloom tomatoes do taste different than
yeah.
regular, like, red tomatoes. Like,
Tomatoes that you make yourself or grow yourself are different from the store, regardless. They
very.
taste so different.
Yeah.
And then let's see. So we're living in my grandma's house, and it's kind of old. Like a lot of the stuff was from the 40s and 50s, and so like electrical issues constantly. So the fuse went out, and then the boys spent the day like, you know, trying to figure that out. But you know what? I'm not having anything to do with that. I'm good.
You know what? That's why we keep men around
Yeah,
to make them feel
to
useful
do the
when like the
things.
shit breaks. It's not that we couldn't fix it ourselves necessarily. It's just, we get to choose that we don't want to.
Right.
That's that's literally the only reason why I need to find someone, like male or female, that is willing to take that shit on because I just really don't want to. It's not that I couldn't figure it out. I just
I
don't want to.
I feel like we all have our strengths, right?
Yes.
Like mine isn't fixing things.
No.
No.
Mine is knowing all the things. Just
She's
not
literally one of the
doing
smartest
all the
people I've
things.
ever met. She's smart, so that's true. Not me. I want to make things look pretty, and I love how not just hair. Like I love like decorating. I love when things look nice.
Yes.
It's important to me for some reason. I don't
I
know why.
do I do like how you've decorated your house. Like it's
You
so
do.
nice.
Thank
It's
you.
so nice.
So, yeah, that's that. That was my emotional check-in.
Hmm.
So, okay. So, as we said earlier, we're going to ask a few, I'm going to ask questions and then we'll just kind of like bounce off each other and see
Yeah.
what we think. So, I think I'm going to start with one of the questions that you said most everybody asks you when they have a session is, what is a soul contract?
So a soul contract is when what you create for each individual incarnation that you're going to experience. So before you come into the current body or vessel that you choose, because it may not always be a human vessel or a vessel that has two arms, two legs, that sort of thing. Whatever incarnation you're about to go into, your soul council, your guides, you sit down and say, what is it that you want to learn? What is it that will help you, if you learn it, to move on to the next phase? So the idea is like that every incarnation you have moves you forward. Now that doesn't always happen. Some people get really like lost in the sauce and like lost in life and shit and like end up not fulfilling their soul contracts and or aspects of their soul contracts.
So then do they live that same life over again or do
No.
they live a different life,
Different
um,
life, new soul contract.
but with similar themed
Yes.
life problems and issues and partners and friends, similar things to kind of
Sometimes
help
you'll
them get it right that
sometimes
time.
sometimes you'll renegotiate like who's in your life. So it's not like if let's use like you and your boyfriend now, right? So let's say that you didn't finish your soul contract this time around. Next time around you'd have some of those same things, the things that you didn't accomplish, you'd put into your new soul contract, but you may then say, well, the partner that I had the last time, they may have finished their soul contract,
Hmm.
and they don't necessarily want or feel like by going back and having the same sort of type of relationship that it's going to help them continue to advance. So maybe they then choose to, instead of being your lover in the next incarnation, they choose to be your brother,
Hmm. Okay.
or they choose to be your father, or they choose to be your mother. And like you also have to agree to whatever new role they want to take. So they may still be in your life because they still feel like being in some form of contract with you is going to be helpful for them and helping them to advance. But they may be like, I can't be your sexual partner because you that's not going to help me advance.
Hmm.
But still being in your life will help you advance. So that's what I'm willing to do. So that's where, for me, as a healer and as a mentor, that's pretty much all I focus on. Like truly, even though my zone of genius is health, I 100% am like, I will help you I will help you understand and achieve the highest state of optimal level of functionality and energetics that you can achieve in so long as it serves you being able to move forward. I'm not going to do anything that's not going to help you move forward. So there's a lot of people that are like, well, Abigail, why can't you just fix it for me? Well, if I go and I talk to your guides and the guides are like, that's not, somebody doing it for them is
Right.
not going to help them. It's the learning through the hardship
Hmm.
and then reaching that's like the bonus. That's like the cherry on top is the health. For a lot of people, they contract into illness and dysfunction and
So they can learn
disease.
something from it, like
Correct.
how to treat others or what they can appreciate in life and
Yes.
different things like that.
Yes.
Now, for example, okay, here's another question building off that question that I just thought of that's not written down here. Um, when that happens, for example, like somebody had, I don't know, I'll use Michael as an example. He had kidney failure for years and years and needed, you know, is could he break that contract, do something to be healthier, or is that just like once you have that, it is what it is, and you just have.
Technically, he did break it.
Oh.
The fact that he like ended up getting what he needed to get to the state of health he has now
Mm-hmm.
is the physical manifestation of him saying, I have learned what I needed to learn, and I have now like written that off, and now he's in this new state of health. If he goes and like gets sick again or starts like rejecting, right?
Right.
Then um that would be a sign that he ended up moving away from the path, away from the lesson. Like,
The path that he was
yes,
supposed to go down to learn something.
correct. So, like, he is on what I would call the path that this particular lesson of advancement
Mm-hmm.
that is leading to his advancement, he is on it and he is staying on it. If he were to start to get sick or something like that, it would show me that he is veered away from this line.
Mm-hmm.
And that is would be then up to him to like course correct and try to get back to the path essentially.
Okay.
So that's also with like cancers too. So like anyone who has cancers, there are some exceptions, like everything has exceptions, but like in broad strokes, people who have cancer and go into remission, that's them having like renegotiated or basically like signing off. I understood that lesson. I learned this lesson. I get it. I
Mm-hmm.
understand it. I embody it. And like signed off. Now they're no longer they no longer have cancer in their body.
Mm-hmm.
If they end up falling out of remission, that's a real good sign that they're like veering off. So for example, if some person's reason for having cancer is to become more compassionate and learn how to be more empathetic, and they learn that through their illness and they really embody that, then they go into remission. Then let's say they start acting like a massive asshole or they stop feeling like compassion is essential in their life, then I can guarantee you they'll end up next, time they go in for a checkup, their doctor's probably going to tell them, you know what, we found this new thing and you need a new round of radiation or chemo or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Um, all right, next question. What is a soulmate and are they real?
Do
Is it,
you do you think that they're real?
I think it's a real thing, but I don't think there's one person for anyone. I feel like
Mm,
maybe and I could be, I mean, I don't know anything but what I feel. And I just feel like, especially since I've had a partner that passed, I
mm,
didn't think like, oh, he's the only one for me. I never think that there's just one person. I feel like I feel like anybody could make things work if they want to make things work.
oh yeah.
Like in a
Yeah.
marriage or in a relationship or friendship, like
Hmm.
you, like with everything, you have the good and you have the bad. You take the good and the bad. And
Hmm.
my dad told me that when I was young. Like like no matter who you have, you're always going to find somebody prettier, somebody richer, somebody more fun. Like you have to make that choice to say, okay, this is my person, and I'm going to stick it out with them. And you roll with the punches, the good and the bad. So
Yeah.
I just kind of have always thought that that was super wise and stuck with it. But I do think there is such a thing as probably a soulmate, but I don't really know what that means or what it entails. So enlighten me.
I really agree with that, and I love that piece of wisdom from your dad because I agree with it like wholeheartedly. I think, just because somebody is pretty sexy, hot, whatever, like, or has a ton of money, like, it may not work for you, right? Like, somebody having a lot of money, they may have other attributes that you're like, nah,
Yeah, I
like,
could care less about money. I really, it's all about how people make me.
it's just a great piece of wisdom. I like having looked at like soul contracts and like how things go. I think there are certain souls that will choose to be with the same soul in sexual partnership many, many times over. And in that sense, I would say that is one of the truer senses of soulmate when people, the way that people in colloquial terms like to imagine it,
Mm.
right? In layman's terms, people tend to say, oh, soulmate, and immediately think of like sexual romantic relationship. So there are a handful of souls that are like that choose lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to be in relationship with just one other soul in a sexual romantic capability. But in more metaphysic like understanding, so like I can't look at it just that way. When I look at it, I look at soulmates meaning somebody whose soul actually helps to complete, maybe complete's the wrong way to say it. Enhance, let's say it like that. So I am whole in and of myself, but there are other souls that will enhance my soul and help me to burn brighter and help me to shine better. And in that case, for me, those aren't always and sometimes are never sexual partners, sexual romantic partners. And so that's why, like, when I went and I looked at my soul contract, I didn't see like a long term partner on there. I saw that there were going to be some individuals who like came through my life who I would have feelings for, but that they were not somebody who I was going to be able to ever say like they're the person
Like
that
you got
is
me
like,
forever.
yeah, no, like not in like a romantic sense. But then Jeremiah was born. And the minute I looked into his eyes, I was like, you're everything.
Hmm.
You're everything. And I will do anything within reason that you need from me to like help get you to be the best little human that you can ever be. And that to me is a soulmate.
Hmm.
The friendships that have meant the most to me, even if they have not lasted and they're not many. Like I think there's two that I can like prior to you and Jesse that I can think of off the top of my head and name where they were so pivotal in my life that I was like, nah, like you're my soulmate.
Hmm.
And only because you helped me shine brighter even for a short period of time.
Right, right.
So that's where I'm like, people can have multiple soulmates. And I think that
So there
that's a
isn't
beauty
one
to
person
that.
that can help that meet all your needs. Like is there, is that a thing?
From like my personal standpoint, no. I do not feel like there's one, but I also feel like that's a choice though. Like you can choose to be something, to be everything for one person.
Hmm.
But that means that you have to recognize that sacrifice is a part of that. That you may have to sacrifice a part of yourself or your comfort or your financials or whatever in order to be that everything that they need, and that person, if you want that to be reciprocal, would have to sacrifice something in order for them to be everything to you. And sometimes that sacrifice is their pride. Sometimes that sacrifice is their humility. Sometimes that sacrifice is their space, their privacy, their autonomy to be able to be everything that another person needs. And it's another reason, like, I have such strong feelings about like personal autonomy and like sovereignty, and me never wanting to like take somebody's sovereignty away from them. I only ever want to be able to say I've helped give you sovereignty, and I feel like the best way that I could do that is for me to never believe that there's one person who could give me everything, and that's why I feel like I would be very comfortable in like a polyamorous relationship because it's not about sharing for me.
Hmm.
Like I know a lot of people like say that and they like think that. They're like, I don't think I could share with somebody else. And I'm like, I get that. But for me, that's not where my head goes. My head literally just goes with like, I can't be everything that one person needs.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be demanding. Like I have standards, you know, and I need person to know like I'm not gonna be able to go everywhere that they want me to go, or I'm not gonna like everything they're gonna want me to like, or I'm not gonna be able to perform in every way they want me to
Yeah, I
perform.
totally get that. We had this me and this is so weird that was where that went because I literally just was standing in my kitchen earlier talking to Michael. We were talking about like Mormon people and how they have like more than one wife and
Hmm.
like they don't think it's weird because it's normal to them because that's how they grew up because they know they can't give this man every single thing, and instead of being jealous of the other wives they're just like, hey, let's all get along and raise our kids together and be best friends. And like it's not weird for the kids because they love all their moms and
Yes.
all the moms love all the kids, and it's just something that became normal over time for them and not normal for other cultures
Yeah.
or really religions or whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, there's plenty of like cultures where like either the women can have multiple partners. So there's lots of African cultures that believe that are like it's only the women who can have multiple partners. And then they basically like they put like a staff outside when there's like one of the other partners, and the other husband just knows like I can't go in there right now, and they don't like feel any sort of way about it. I mean, they maybe probably go through some forms of jealousy. I mean, I don't think that there's any person who's like not
Immune to
immune to
jealousy.
jealousy. Yeah, like I think that that's absolutely a thing. But I think if you're raised in a culture or a society that says that jealousy isn't a bad thing, we have to figure out how to deal with that just the way we would deal with any other emotion. Then it can be healthy. Then
Hmm.
you can get through it. But then there's like, you know, places like in the Middle East or in Mormon culture where it's just the men. Women aren't allowed to have multiple partners. It's just the men that are allowed to have harems or sister wives or whatever. And I would say, like in anything else, there are bad apples in everything. I'm sure that there's more than a few men that like say, well, I just get to be greedy. Like
Hmm.
ooh, I like you, so I take you, and you're now my third wife, or ooh, I like you, and now you're my fifth wife.
Hmm.
And like here, I'm just developing my harem of just beautiful women, and I in some ways like I see both sides of it of like I can see how some women would find that really distasteful. And I
Hmm.
can also see from the perspective of like, well, maybe these women like come together and they're like, oh my God, here's my family. Here's my tribe who will help take care of me and they'll help raise my children and they'll listen to me when, I feel like I'm being slighted or pushed out, or if I feel like I'm not getting enough love, or that he doesn't understand me. Here's a bunch of other women who probably like feel on any other given day that he doesn't understand them either.
Right.
You know, you
Yeah,
know.
no.
So
Perfect.
at the end, I really do, I want to like say though is like if you believe that there's one person for you, then fight for that. Like I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that just because there may be a platonic soulmate for you doesn't mean that you should just like give up on the fact of like somebody actually trying to be everything. Understand like they may fail, some of them may fail spectacularly, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try if that's something that you need in your life.
How about is well, first of all, we just established reincarnation. That's a real thing. Everybody comes back. How many lives does the average person live?
Millions.
Millions, because they've been around
Millions.
for because we humans have been around for millions of years.
Well, so it's less about humans and more about consciousness. So one of like the coolest past life experiences I've ever been able to experience was one of my own, and I literally I asked my guides to like take me back. It was one of the first times I had gone up into the Akashic records, and I was like, I want to see like the very first time. And they were like, the very first time of what? I said, the very first time, yo. Like, I want to know, like, when I became my little, like, fragment of consciousness. And they were like, oh, okay, well, that's like way down there. And I'm like, we walked and we walked and we walked. And I was like, okay, this is like stupid. Can we just like teleport there? And they were like, you have to like understand like how far back. I would think I was like meditating for like 2 hours because it like so much of it was like me walking past all of my like past lives, and we get all the way back, and there's this like I didn't expect it. It was this teeny tiny book, teeny tiny book, and I was like, okay, here we go. I'm not walking all the way back to my like table. I was like, we're just gonna do this here, and I do this thing for past life regression where I like open it up and then I can like kind of do like a Harry Potter thing on my face of the book kind of a thing, and I fall in, and then I choose like, do I want to kind of like be a ghostly sort of figure like viewing the life, or do I want to like be in my body in like that consciousness? And I was like, let's do this right. I want to be in this body. I want to like know what this is. And I felt the like it was the first time I had ever felt such an like it's hard for me to even describe in human words because I don't really think that there is enough or a good enough word to describe the level of like everything and nothing that I felt. And then I had the worst pain in my chest I have ever experienced. Like even now, like I could like feel it. I like knocked the breath out of me. Like I couldn't breathe. I just couldn't breathe. And there was so much pain. And there was this like big white light, and it like shocked me so much that I ended up like taking like a big breath in, and then all of a sudden I felt so utterly alone. Like I was just there was no one around me, nothing around me. I felt so lost and so alone, and then out of like and there was like black all around me.
And this was still in that life.
Hmm? And
Was that your death happening? Like, were you experiencing your death?
no. So I was like, what? Like as soon as I could like get some form of like thought, because there was like no words. It was like it was just conscious awareness. I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I like looked around and I realized like I was in what would now like be considered like if we could truly see it from um like scientific perspective, the beginnings of the universe.
Mm.
It was literally me experiencing what we in science would call the Big Bang. So the Big Bang, which was science says like the beginning of the universe, was actually God source breaking into an infinite number of pieces. And each one of those pieces is us, our consciousness. And that feeling of utter aloneness is the thing that we strive in every life to not feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we seek out human connection, friendships, partnerships, sex, love, commitment, because every time that we feel alone, it reminds us of that very first moment where we all basically took this our very first like conscious breath
Mm-hmm.
as our own little fractal of God.
That's super interesting that you say that because whenever people like what I think of when I think of God or like source is like not that it broke into a million pieces, but that does make it make more sense. Of I always think like we are born and we're born again and again, and all the things that we experience is so that God can experience the things because he's not a human. It's like a a form, it's an energy, it's a source, it's the source, but
Yes.
but it wants to feel the things that it can't feel and know the things it doesn't, like experience all the things. So every human experiencing similar things in different ways, and how they perceive it is something different that God, source, can
Yes.
experience as well. That's how I
Yes.
imagine it to be.
Yes, you're absolutely right. The only part that you can could add in is that your consciousness,
Is
your
a part of God.
spirit is God experiencing itself.
Well, this is.
So
Were you
you're
expecting this?
100
Were you expecting this? Holy shit.
But so you're 100% right. God is experiencing itself through all of us, but not just through us, as us. Yes. And that is that whole thing too, why all like spiritualists, all religions, all whatever will say that the whole like point is to get back to God. Whether you're Christian and are like, I must get back to heaven because you feel like God is somehow removed from you, it's not obvious, like you don't have to believe that, you could, but the idea, the ultimate goal is still the same, is that ultimately you're going to get back to the place where God is and be one with God. And like for me, it's we live these lives, we go through these various incarnations to help get us one step closer to being able to be a part of God again and go back to this whole like source. Now, what I understand is that one day that will happen, but when that does, and we all come back together, then God, being like the mad scientist that it is, will probably say, well, that was fun, let's do that again. And we'll break apart and another Big Bang will happen. And so what we'll end up doing is as we move closer to God, we'll actually bring about like almost a collapsing in of the universe, and then it'll Big Bang again. And then we'll, go through
Do you
the
think that we're
billions of
anywhere near
years.
that? You know how they say like, "Oh, we're on a new like Earth that's shifting and becoming a new Earth, and the timelines are all merging together, and blah 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 because CERN is now shut off and all the things." Like, does that play into that in any way? Like, do you feel like we're getting closer to like the end of that, or no, not even
No,
close?
no, there's so many more like years and things, and so much more that we can like do and experience. If sci-fi has taught us anything, we're not anywhere close to all of the different stuff that we could experience and that God could experience as us, through us, however we want to say it. That I think it's a limited viewpoint. It's that fear of dying. It's that fear of whatever. That's just once again another element. God being like, well, once upon a time I didn't have to worry about death. They're like, but here, let me experience that. Let me experience death. But there's 1,000 different ways, billion different ways to exhibit death, and and so no, I don't think. I think that's an egotistical fear that tries to make us more important and less important than we actually are. I think there's so much more to explore and experience, and that may make some people pretty sad. But I also think that there's lots of other timelines and alternate dimensions and things like that that exist that are further along and less further along than we are in this one. And that's why too, where I'm like, it's important for us to fight for the things that matter. It's important for us to fight for goodness in this world and for harmony and for empathy and compassion and doing what's right and trying to take care of as many people as we can. I think that it's important for people who are rich to help other people up and not just expect that people should be able to pull themselves up just because they did or whatnot, or all of the different things. Like I think that there's value in that, but I also, because I know so much of like what I feel like is kind of like the behind the scenes, I don't worry as much about things that seem very, very tragic. Death or darkness rising or whatever. Like I choose to fight the good fight this time around, and hopefully I continue to choose the good side. I may not, I know I haven't in the past.
All right, last question before our hour is getting close to the end here. Who built the pyramids? Do we know this?
So who is very interesting. I know that so many people want me to be like, it was the Syrians, or it was like the angels, or it was the whatever. But like, if we stick with this understanding that we were just talking about of like, we are all the things. Like, we have lived lives as Syrians, as Palladians, as Arcturians, as insectoid people, as Greys, as Zetas, as all of the things. And in addition to that, we've lived as mer people and dragons and all of those things, right?
Yeah.
That there's no differentiation to me between like the beings that created the pyramids and you and I. At some point, I would suspect that if I went and looked, that you probably had a hand in building the pyramids.
I'm sure because I think about them all the time.
Yeah.
Like every night I go to sleep to like ancient alien shows because that shit is so amazing to me. Like even just thinking about it. But like at the same time, I don't ever want to go there. That's not something that I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to go there. It looks hot and crowded and dusty and there's like spiders and things that I don't really want to be around. But like it's not, you know what I mean? And then you see it from like the big aerial view and it's like just this little bit of desert that's surrounded by city now. It's not just like out, it's not just in the desert, it's
Yeah.
actual city.
Well, it looked a lot different when they were like being built.
Hmm.
But I mean, and like greener, lusher. I mean, like a lot has changed in this time. But like, so to answer your question of who, I would say a very meta answer is we did. We did it. Consciousness built them in different forms than humans are known to have like helped build them. There are different schools of thought around this. There's the idea of like there was so one of the very first individuals that I ever listened to who was kind of recounting the making of the pyramids. I wish I could remember his first name. I'm gonna butcher it. It starts with an M. It's like Melchizedek, but his last name is like Drunvalo.
Okay.
And he actually wrote these books called The Secret of the Flower of Life. And in it, he details the basically like the start of humanity as we know it as like Homo erectus, walking up on two legs, very little hair on our bodies, darker because we're in Africa. But even then, like before that. So one of the things that I know that you and I have talked about is that like the cradle of civilization as like we know it today only is what we know it today because so much of the world has changed. The seas have risen. There's not, evidence has been washed away. Not everything gets fossilized, and so not everything that was before what we have still have land to dig in can tell us. So like places like Atlantis existed before ancient Zep-Tepi Egypt. And Zep-Tepi is like essentially like before time. So it's like pre-dynastic Egypt, what we know. So history talks about dynastic Egypt. The pharaohs that Seti the first of biblical times, Ramesses the second of biblical times, and all the way up to Cleopatra, right? And like Julius Caesar and Augustus, right? Um, what we're talking about is pre-dynastic. So we're talking about when um, consciousness was actually inhabiting both humans that look like you and I, as well as star beings. So this is how we get stories in Sumeria and Persia of like the Anunnaki being one of the first star being peoples to come to the planet and helping to seed. We also have things like the Syrians and the Palladians coming in and doing work on and with humans to create an faster evolution within our bloodline. It's why humans evolved so quickly when dinosaurs took hundreds of millions of years, and humans, as we know it, have only existed for a couple hundred thousands of years. It's because of their like DNA. helping us to evolve faster, and they're like technology helping us to evolve faster. This is how we get the Dogon tribes in Africa talking about star beings coming down. It's how we have the seven sisters of the Palladians being known in Native American culture here in the Americas. So across time, across the world, there are these different knowings of star beings once having actually been here. And that would be our consciousness is choosing to be in those bodies, working with humans who are other consciousnesses, and then having civilizations like Lemuria, and then Atlantis after that, and then Septepi Egypt. And so the idea of the who is us, but also the star beings. Um, some people say it was a mixture of like a group, Palladian Syrians, kind of that what we would know of as like the Galactic Federation of
That was
Light
going to be my
now.
next question. Like, is that what that consists of then?
Yeah. And then how were they built? Which is a common next question is there's some who like Drunvalo believe that they were actually created in another dimension and then they were dropped here. And that's how they're so precise is that they weren't needing to actually physically shift here in time. I do feel like there's a portion of that that is true. There's as I feel into that, there is a reality to that that I can acknowledge. I also feel like my limited brain is has a hard time with wrapping around the fullness of the truth that is the
Right,
pyramids.
because now, I don't know if you know, do you ever pay attention to it, like what's happening there right now?
I know that they had like found there's something underneath the
Yeah, like meters, like miles. It's like a
yes.
mile and a half below. It's like a walkway, a stairway. It's like there's three different tunnel type of situations that
Hmm.
goes down, 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 and underneath there's like whole like structures and things, and it's all like metal and stuff that wasn't supposed to be around when these pyramids were built.
Yes.
So like they can still get down there somehow.
They could, and the Egyptian government for sure is not going to make massive changes unless there is something massive that happens, like some massive like change in the guard or something like that. Because if they were to say that like the pyramids and the Sphinx are older and like mark it in time that it's older in history, I should say, than 6,000 years ago, because that's part of the whole thing, right? Like if anything is older than 6,000 years in in any of the major, not major, in any of the three monotheistic religions, so what we're talking about is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. If anything is more than 6,000 years old, then all of a sudden you completely wipe out the like timeline that it has made up those religious holy texts. And that just can't be. That degrades almost everything that they know to be true. And so you will not see governments of any kind saying that they're going to switch the timelines in history. Archaeology doesn't run on the government, right? It may be influenced by the government, like how what gets funded and things like that, but usually like you'll see archaeology um trying to insert like things of like a true time or being more
Then it
like
just gets brushed away and overlooked, and people forget about it and it move on.
yes. And there are some archaeologists out there that are like I just want to keep getting funding. Like I am okay with knowing the truth and I'm okay with like digging and like seeing that oh this is actually a lot older than 6,000 or 12,000, you know what I mean, and saying but you know as long as I know that's okay, but in order for me to keep getting funding I'm gonna just tell the world what it is that I know. They, if I say, then the government will continue to fund me, and that's a downside. And yes, I am calling out every single one of you who like are playing the game. I get it that I get why you're doing it. I get why you're doing it, but it's not helping anything. It's you know I think there's a lot of people who believe, and I'm curious as to your thoughts about this. Of like, do you think that we can't handle it? I know that we've kind of talked about it,
I
but
definitely, I think that people could. I feel like at least half the world believe that there's a thing as aliens. You know what I mean? We just kind of like you I feel like evidence goes missing for everything. Like even how you were just saying, like the governments and the religions, they wouldn't. That would just be. It would just like shake everything up. So
Mhm.
like, of course, things aren't going to feel like it won't be right. I don't even know how to put that into words because it's almost too big to wrap my brain around. But I feel like yes, we could. I feel like most people could. I feel like it would literally kind of destroy a lot of the religious things that people believe, and their people would feel lost because they wouldn't know what to believe in.
Here's a question for you. So I saw something recently that was saying it was a carousel on Instagram that was saying that Americans are too lazy to stop a dictatorship. That like everything that's happening in our country right now with the like downfall of our like checks and balances system to like the rolling back of like human rights and things like that of like certain laws and stuff is actually leaning toward a dictatorship. And my question is do you think that in that something strange could happen where like all of this stuff is happening that is making us like, well, I guess I have two questions. One, do you think that we are too lazy to stop a dictatorship from happening? And two, if we are too lazy, do you think that in our laziness, that like the government that would then be like, all right, we've taken all of the fight out of all of these people, and now we actually can like say that everything that we know is wrong, and here's all of the new stuff that we've been hiding from you, just so that people don't revolt?
Okay, I don't think people are too lazy. I think they don't really know that they have the power to do things for themselves. I don't think people are too lazy. I think like there's a large amount of people out there that are like, this is so wrong. We have to do something, but nobody knows what. Everybody's waiting for somebody else to know what and to start, and then they would follow.
Mm,
You know what I mean? That's what I
yeah.
think with that. And I think that if all the information came out, I feel like for a while it might be a little chaotic. Like people would be like, whoa, 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 what? So that's real? I didn't know that that could be. And, I feel like it would surprise people, but I feel like they'd get through it just like anything, just like everything. You just keep moving, you keep going. Even like when they're saying like, oh, there was the alien thing in the mall in Florida, and then all these people's phone footage went missing. Like something happened there, but nobody knows what happened there because shit just went missing because they say we can't handle it because of how people were reacting at that situation. Of course, it might be scary at first. What if a gigantic, humongous, the size of a state, spaceship came down to Earth and was covering up the sun because it was so big that we couldn't see it. Like we would be forced to believe it then,
Right.
and know that the fact that that thing is so big and it traveled so far to get here that no matter what we try to do to stop it, we probably wouldn't be able to. So
Yeah.
hopefully they mean well. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff is what is scary to people.
What if it didn't come from outside? What if it was actually like it came like
From
from
the
like
ocean.
under from the ocean or from like the ground? Like what if like the thing that we would all probably like revolt against is the fact that like they open up the doors to the ground and all of these like things come out
That have been
and
here the whole time,
have been
as
here the whole
long as
time.
us or longer than us.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. Again, it would be something scary. Just like I keep telling myself, like, "Ooh, I do wish I was psychic. I do wish I had all these powers." But then a little piece of me inside is like, "Would I be scared? If I knew what everybody was thinking all the time, would it scare me a little bit? Would it be too much?" And then I think, no, I don't think I would be. I mean, yes, it would. Something scary would happen, and you'd be scared, but you'd figure it out and keep it moving because no matter what, you just
Yeah.
everybody has to keep going.
Yeah. It really does like bring up those questions of like it makes me wonder if like is part of the reason for why we don't have like really great like telepathy is because like we're not wise enough to not take somebody's sovereignty away. Like if I
Yeah,
was like sitting on the bus and I like heard somebody be like, I'm gonna shank this girl that's sitting in front of me, and me being like, no. Like, is that like me technically like taking away their free will to like make a choice to not do it? Like, they hadn't done it yet. They were
yes, but
just
at the same
thinking
time,
about it.
that would make you like a hero without knowing it. I feel like that's what I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know.
I mean, only to the person who he was thinking about shanking,
Right.
but then again, he hadn't actually done anything. So, I mean,
Maybe you
like
could. Maybe you should step in.
you probably have thought once or twice, and what if I could just? It's not like you've ever done it. So it's like, should we be persecuting people for just a thought? I feel like they made a movie about this.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Yeah, I feel like I don't know because I think if I could hear people's thoughts, I I would stop it. I would say, "Hey, girl, come sit by me. What's your name? I love your dress." I'd like get her to come go away, just so
Right.
that she wasn't there to let that happen.
Right.
But then if it wasn't her, then it was somebody else. And
Yeah.
what if we're screwing with the timeline or something because we're,
Right.
changing somebody's.
What if she ultimately would end up having been the the person who ends up like murdering her? Like, what if by him not murdering her, she ends up going home and shanking her husband,
Yeah, we don't know.
and you just saved a murderer? It is that kind of like question of like somebody has like asked at some point. I don't even know. I mean, multiple people have shared asked this, like, would it have been better for somebody to just like smother Hitler in his crib?
Probably. Do you think he escaped? I'm so sorry. This has nothing to
Hitler.
do with the How they say he was killed down in like some tunnel or something. Like I don't think he was. I think he escaped.
Really? Where
Yeah.
do you think he went? And then he just decided, like, oh, my, like, I tried, but like,
I think
I
yeah.
tried for world domination. It didn't work. He just lived out his life on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, maybe not a beach, but he
Really?
went somewhere. I feel like he went somewhere.
Do
Yeah.
you also feel like Elvis is dead
No,
too?
I think he's definitely dead. But sad to die on the toilet. Like taking a shit. That's so sad. And embarrassing for somebody who was such a heartthrob for so many people for so long.
Well, and
It's like, oh, he died taking a shit.
yeah, not definitely not the way that I want to go.
Right.
For
No, no,
sure.
no. That'd be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do think that Hitler is dead. I mean, even if he did,
Well, now he's
but,
dead. But was he killed in that tunnel? Did he get shot there, or did he escape and somebody else
no,
put somebody else's body there?
I feel like he actually like
Died that day.
died that day. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely understand like why people would like think, oh, maybe he didn't. I think, the same thing around like the Osama bin Laden thing and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like humans are inept, but we're not that inept.
But I'm just saying he had a lot of,
I mean, however, there have been multiple attempts on a certain president's life, and so once again, I'm always willing to be wrong. Okay, like, maybe I am wrong, maybe he didn't, but I like to think that humans aren't that inept. But I also then I'm just like thinking like if he didn't, wouldn't you think he would like have kept going? Like, wouldn't he have
no, because
like
I feel like he was.
rallied?
I feel like he was. Then everything would be like under the table. Then like everything he could still try to live out the life that he wanted other people to have. You know what I mean? Like the regime or whatever you would call that. Um, let it still continue to happen, but then he just wouldn't technically be alive because he knew he would be like a fugitive no matter where he went. There would always be,
Sure, but like
like a price on his
I
head.
feel like he was too egotistical of a person to like not want to like be in
Like, ha
the
ha, I
spotlight.
got you, bitch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, because this was that attempt wasn't the only attempt on his life, and he kept going. And I feel like if he had survived, he would have. If he did survive, I feel like we still got him. Like we still like put him, and he died in prison. Like that would be the sort of thing that would make the most sense to me. In that, for why he didn't then end up like going and creating havoc, but like he would, I'm sure he's his if I believed in such a thing as like people's consciousnesses only having like one lifetime, which I don't, but like the whole like phrase of like rolling in his grave, like I feel like he would be rolling in his grave at like how Germany has like transitioned to a much different state of being than what he initially wanted for it. Like they have pride, yes, but they fully acknowledge their hurt. They teach it. They teach the Holocaust in their schools. They do not hide from the damage that they did and the death that they wrought. And I think that that was something that he would have been very upset about because he didn't see what he was doing as something wrong or bad. And an entire country basically is like, we will not erase him from our history, but we will make it known that what he did was unforgivable and was not what humans should have ever done. And I think that that would have made him mad. And I think he probably would have worked pretty damn hard to like bring down the German government. And they're alive and kicking. So I don't know.
All right, final five. What do we want to talk about?
Um, this was just really fun. I liked this.
I did too. I feel like this might be one of my favorite. Sorry that you're not here, Jesse. This is one of my favorite ones. When we first started doing that, this is what I kind of imagined it to be. Like, oh my God, we're going to educate people. I'm going to learn so much. People are going to learn so much. Like, but I mean, we only kind of touch bases on things like
yeah,
really
we
quickly.
kinda do, yeah.
Quickly. But this
Yeah.
felt like everything was a little bit more in depth.
Let us know how you feel about these guys. We could definitely make this like more of a thing. And it what would really be helpful if you do really like stuff like this is to send us your questions because that means that we can actually answer them. And then when Jesse's here too, you get a whole other sort of perspective. And yeah. We should do these more. We should
Yeah.
do we'll
Every once in a
definitely
while.
yes, we'll definitely make sure that we like bring out the frequently asked questions.
All right.
Frequently asked
Feel free
questions.
to comment, like, share. What else?
And subscribe
And subscribe.
to any and all who you love and love to annoy. I'm Abigail.
And I'm Amanda.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the next Breath of Life Conversations. Bye, y'all.